Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Neese. It is Wednesday, the 2nd of April, 2025, and welcome to Hotspot Weather, where I take a look and highlight some of the weather hotspots across the country. And we have a significant multimodal severe weather threat in our hotspot area today that I'm going to be talking about. And look, I know there are lots of weather channels here on YouTube you could be visiting. Thanks for spending some time right here on Hotspot Weather. Zooming into the hotspot, it is in the nation's heartland, right near the confluence of the Ohio and Mississippi River near Cairo, Illinois is the bullseye. And we're going to be seeing multiple waves of storms here with locally heavy rains, and any of those storms could be severe with hail and high winds, but also we could see a few strong tornadoes in this region as well. You have a rare high risk that I'm going to be detailing here in just a moment. And outside of that, with the waves of rain over the next few days, we're going to be seeing a flash flood threat that develops into a river flood threat as well. But first of all, let's take a look at what the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting, the area seeing the highest risk for severe weather. And again, it's a pretty large area that extends from the Great Lakes all the way down into Texas, but it's focused in that pink area. That is that rare high risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center for severe weather. And that means that we're going to be seeing a very good chance of severe weather through the afternoon and evening in this region that goes from about Memphis up to Cairo, Illinois, southern Illinois, western Kentucky, southeast Missouri, northeastern Arkansas. And this is an area that's already been battered over the last few weeks by severe weather. Focusing in on where the highest tornado risk is, and it's right there in that pink area where the high risk exists. This is a 30 to 44% chance of severe weather within 25 miles of any one point. And where you see the black hatched areas, that's a 10% risk of an EF2 or higher tornado, a strong tornado, affecting these areas. So this is a region that you're going to want to make sure that you have ways to hear weather warnings, especially during the overnight tonight and into Thursday. But that risk is a very large area. Again, the highest is right there in the heartland, but beyond that, it extends from Indiana back into Arkansas, and beyond that, we also see it go all the way from Ohio back into parts of Texas. All right, it's a multi-day event too. So the severe weather risk for tomorrow on Thursday, the 3rd, exists from basically the northeast back into Texas. For Friday, the 4th, it goes from near where it is today along the Ohio River back into Texas again. And finally, as we head into Saturday, the 5th, it exists basically in the same areas with an enhanced area already being noted with the potential for tornadoes from Mississippi back into Arkansas and Louisiana. So multi-day, same area, and with those waves of storms over and over, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're going to be seeing that flood risk develop as well. So here's the way the computer models are painting the picture of what's going to be happening. And we start in the area that will be affected most today, and this is the Ohio and Mississippi River valleys. This is the HRRR model, the high resolution rapid refresh. And this is a convection allowing model that is one of the most advanced out there. And you can see as we go through the day, this is at 7 o'clock in the evening on Wednesday, that line of storms progresses through Missouri, southern Illinois, Indiana. It's approaching northwest Tennessee by 7 o'clock, and it's approaching Memphis. It has come through Little Rock, Arkansas, back into parts of Texas. Any of the storms within the line could contain hail, high winds, and can't rule out, again, a strong tornado. And as we go into the evening and nighttime hours, that line progresses farther south. By the time we get to midnight, it's through Louisville, coming into Nashville. It is already through Memphis, approaching Jackson, and then also back into parts of northern Mississippi. And through the overnight Wednesday night, look what happens. The front stalls out and basically stops moving. So we see waves of thunderstorms over and over and over. It will be a very bumpy night across parts of Kentucky down into Tennessee and northern Mississippi. And as we head in through the day on Thursday, that front not only stalls, it begins working back as a warm front. And this is by the time we get into 1 o'clock in the afternoon, still storming. And you can see the rains extending back from Tennessee all the way into Missouri and Illinois, the most active weather is going to be right here along this line, and that line starts to work back as a warm front as we go through the overnight Thursday night into Friday. So this is 8 p.m. on Thursday evening. You can see the line pushing back to the north as that warm front. Any of these cells along that warm front could also be severe. And then we see a training of cells across the Ohio River. That's what's going to be leading to that flash flood threat, and eventually a river flood threat could be significant along the Ohio River by the end of the week. And this is called the Energy Helicity Index. This is the EHI. This is a measure of how much instability in the atmosphere, how much warmth and moisture combined with the shear, the spin in the atmosphere for these storms to feed off of. And notice ahead of that line through the day, this is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the atmosphere is filled with energy for these storms to tap into, giving us that risk for not only severe weather, but also tornadoes. That line continues to press eastward as we go into the overnight hours, but just ahead of it, we still have a lot of energy for these storms to feed off of. So we'll see the threat for severe weather even into the overnight Wednesday night into the early morning hours of Thursday. Now, after all of this severe weather, and as this goes on, here's the secondary threat that will become the primary threat eventually, and that is for the risk of flooding. This is from the GFS model, the American model, taking a look at, by the time we get into Sunday, how much rain has fallen. And notice it focuses right along the Ohio River and lower Mississippi River valleys, upwards of 14 to 15 inches of rain. Now, this is a model forecast. It may not exactly pan out like this, but this certainly highlights the threat for not only flash flooding as those cells train over the same areas over and over, but also transitioning into a river flood event for the Ohio and Mississippi rivers, especially in these regions here. So this is something that we're going to be watching develop again as we head toward the weekend. All right. Taking a look at the rest of the country, really the most active weather is focused right around this storm system. It's a 987 millibar low. That just means anytime you get below 1,000 millibars, that's a pretty strong storm system. There's snow on the north side of it from the Great Lakes back into parts of North Dakota and South Dakota, with the storms to the south of it in the warm sector. And look how these storms, as they move into Kentucky and Tennessee and through the Ohio River Valley, they stall out, move over the same areas over and over and over, giving us that threat for the flooding. Now, once this system pushes out finally on Sunday into Monday, this is a pretty big batch of cool air that's going to be replacing it. So we're also going to go from, we'll have a little bit of a chance for temperature shock and some temperatures below freezing in areas that have been in the 80s over Wednesday and Thursday as that cold air comes rushing in. So just know that there's a chance for a freeze from Tennessee, Kentucky, back into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and up toward the Great Lakes as we head into Monday and Tuesday of next week. Sunday night, Monday and Tuesday of next week. And temperatures are going to be chilly for a couple of days. And again, coming as a little bit of a shock after all the warm weather that we'll be having the rest of this week. That's the way it looks right now. I'll keep you updated on how this system develops over the next couple of days with another update. If you need help formulating your severe weather safety plan, check out this video. And also on my YouTube shorts, I have a lot of fascinating facts about tornadoes and tips on tornado safety as well. Please have a way to hear warnings during this event. A weather radio is great, but if you're going to use your phone, make sure it's not silenced during the overnight, as we have those risks for severe weather during the overnight hours as well. Stay safe, everybody, and I'll see you soon.